Hello.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
Welcome
New
to
Year.
2024. We are back for a whole new year. And as you can see, Carly got a makeover. Now, Carly is not feeling well today. She got felled by a bug. So our producer, Matt, is stepping in. Sorry, our publisher, Matt, is stepping in and helping us out. Everyone say hi to Matt.
Hello.
And let's also say hi to some folks who are here in the chat. Stefan was in here nice and early to say hi, as was N Weiser, who saw Trolls Band Together, the movie.
Did
I
you like
didn't.
it?
I don't know. I have not seen actually any of the Trolls movies, believe it or not.
I think I saw
But
one. I need to see some others. It wasn't bad.
Michael Bingham here as always. Hello, Michael. Happy New Year. Thank you for being here for the first podcast of 2024. We are going to have some fun some Wednesday. Thank you for sticking with us. We know this is not our normal day, but illnesses and holidays and stuff, and we had to reschedule just a little bit. So thanks for sticking around. In Derico's Corner, Blossom and Michelangelo, welcome back. And Brian Sager. Yes, we have clearly missed a lot since the holidays. And Brian wants to know if anyone is getting the Apple Vision Pro headset on February 2nd for $3,499. And no, I will wait till that goes on sale for $3,495.
I'm happy with my Quest 3. I paid like I think $500
So
for it.
you did upgrade to the Quest because we both had original Quests and Quest 2s, and I have not yet made the jump to Quest 3. Everyone I know says that the picture quality is way better and it's much better balanced.
Yep, and it's got the pass through is what's
Yeah.
amazing because you can, and I built some games around that so you can see the aliens coming out of your ceiling and around the corners of your house. So I haven't played with it a lot, but I'm excited to check out some of that stuff.
I was really tempted, but my Quest 2 still works perfectly fine, and I think I'll wait until there's some apps that only work on the Quest 3 because right now pretty much everything runs on both of them. So wait till there's a real killer app that I have to use. Kids Kimbo 10. Sorry you're late. You're not late. You're just in time. Thanks for joining us. And Otaku King 10. What if there is a new Saniro Puroland theme park in Florida? A Japanese theme park in Florida. That would be pretty cool. I have not heard anything about that happening anytime soon, but if
it
happens,
we would cover it.
We will definitely cover it. Absolutely. And yeah, Brian does admit, yes, that is a steep price tag for the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, I want to go into an Apple store and try it out, but it's going to have to really amaze me to spend that much money.
And as we were sitting here, my mouse just died. So I'm going to try to do this whole thing using my trackpad. I never, ever use a trackpad. Let's see how badly this goes. All right. Well, I think that that takes care of the warm up. We've got like 30-something people here, which is great. So we are going to kick this thing off for the first time in 2024 in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 225 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I am Seth.
And I'm Matt. Hello.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Obviously, Carly is not here today with us for the first podcast of the year. She's feeling a little under the weather. Thank you, Matt, for stepping in. How were your holidays, and did you spend any of them in a theme park?
I spent no. I stayed away from the theme parks. Too busy for me that week. And I'm blocked out of some of them. I have been to some since Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But I did take a Danube River cruise before the holidays.
Yes,
and
with
that
with
was
our
amazing. It was with our friends at WDW Radio, Lou Mangello and MEI Mouse Fan Travel,
Mhm.
the two sponsors of that, and we went. And they didn't sponsor us. We
Mhm.
paid for it, unfortunately. But,
I'm sure you got a reasonable group rate.
yeah, well, I
Mhm.
don't know. It was a lot. It's a lot to fly over there. I mean, the airline alone, and then
Yep. It's a bucket list trip, though.
it was.
I'm
I
sure
will
it's
tell you, it was amazing trip. It was the German. It was not Germany, Austria,
Mm,
Hungary. It was amazing. We went to see all the
mm.
Christmas markets at each of our
Ah,
stops. If you head to our sister site, cruisenewsweekly.com, I wrote an article on the top 10 things that surprised me about river cruising as someone who's been on ocean cruises
mm,
for years and years and never been on a river cruise. So that's kind of interesting. Um, we did a Nat Geo cruise. So we went on Alma Cruise Waterways, and
mhm,
they have their own river cruises. Then National Geographic has cruises, and
mm,
then Adventures by Disney has cruises. So we did Nat Geo, and while the Nat Geo guides were nice and their presentations were fun, I wouldn't recommend it. It was
mm.
nothing. There was nothing more to it than the fact that we could talk to them, and they had a couple of presentations.
Interesting.
So it didn't really add anything. I thought, maybe beforehand that the Nat Geo people would be on, they'd have specific Nat Geo
Mm,
tours during the day, and they'd lead it and teach us things about
yeah.
photography. Well, they did teach us some things about photography, but in a class on the ship and in like 45-minute presentation. So,
Mm, mm.
but other than that, it was an amazing cruise, and like I said, the Nat Geo part of it was nice. Just if it's any more money, it's not worth paying for at least for the one we did.
Sure, sure.
What about
Well,
you?
I did not do anything as exotic. I stayed close to home. I did holiday shopping in my own closet. I dug out some things that I bought a long time ago and have never. I don't know if you can see on the wall behind me. That's an animation cell from the pre-show of Cranium Command.
Oh,
That's
awesome!
general knowledge that
Awesome!
I've had sitting in a closet for years and finally got around to hanging on the wall.
I
That
got
was
a
an
few of
exciting.
those.
I my theme park highlight. I'm blocked out of Disney parks, and I stopped by Universal, but that was madhouse. Um, but I did go to Gatorland, and I had an amazing experience. I got to meet Jolene, which is a now world famous gator that was found with her top jaw missing. As she's gotten worldwide publicity since she was rescued, and I got to meet Savannah, who is the crocodilian enrichment expert over there, and she and I went inside the baby gator habitat,
You,
inside the glass walls with guests looking in on
oh
us,
wow, yeah, that's always
surrounded
scary.
by baby gators to feed Jolene. And I have never had anything on my Instagram page blow up like that, but look for an article about that in the Orlando Weekly soon. And
Well,
then
not to spoil your article, but do
yeah,
they know how it lost its jaw? Like what
um,
attacked it? And
yeah, it was a clean cut, so they think it was a blade, either a um, boat propeller or a machete. Either
mm,
way, yeah,
geez.
very sad, and an amazing story that she survived long enough to be rescued, and she's doing great now.
Hmm,
She's a
interesting.
rock star. And then the other post holidays, yesterday I went and did my first full day of park hopping at Walt Disney World since the pandemic. Park hopping from rope drop on is back. The buses are running at 10 a.m. I got to do like 10 attractions across 3 parks by 4 o'clock. It was a great day. A little stormy. Got out of there
Yeah.
before the killer storms rolled in. We had tornadoes over SeaWorld yesterday, but other than that, it was a great day.
And I didn't hear about SeaWorld. There wasn't any major damage, I guess.
Uh, I have not heard of any major damage, but my phone was blowing up with all sorts of weather alerts and
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
tornadoes, storm spawning tornadoes spotted right over SeaWorld and heading right towards my house. It was a fun night. It was a fun night. All right. Well, without any further ado, we have obviously a lot of things that have happened since we've been gone. So it is time to jump into the news in the queue. Okay, for our first piece of news in the queue, we have a list of all the new roller coasters coming to the United States in 2024. And if we just read this entire list, this article alone would probably take up our entire show. So we're going to kind of fly through it and point out some of the highlights. But we really encourage you to head on over to attractionsmagazine.com. Check out this great article by Samantha Davis Friedman. Goes into great detail with links for all of these attractions. First up, let us talk about Six Flags. Six Flags parks have a bunch of new roller coasters coming, starting with the Bobcat wooden roller coaster. We got to see the lead car at IAAPA. That one looks great, and that is a 40-mile-an-hour wooden coaster coming to Six Flags Great Escape. Next up, the Flash Vertical Velocity is coming to Six Flags Great Adventure. This one is a boomerang coaster, so you're going to go front and back. And you're also going to go front and back on the new unnamed water-themed roller coaster coming to Six Flags over Georgia. This looks like a boomerang with a splash down, combining elements of a splash coaster with an ultra surf coaster. Matt, you excited for any of those coming to
I'm
Six
just letting you
Flags?
get through this list because I know it's a big list, so I didn't want to interject too much
All
here.
right. I mean, I can charge through if you want to jump in at any time. Just feel free.
Yeah, go ahead.
SeaWorld parks are getting Catapult Falls. That's coming to San Antonio this spring, and it is called the world's first launched flume coaster with a vertical lift and the world's steepest flume ride drop. That looks like a big one. A little smaller is Penguin Trek. This is a family launch coaster with snowmobile-inspired ride vehicles. That is taking over the old Antarctica dark ride, but the penguins will still be there.
I went to SeaWorld about a week ago, and some of the track is already up, so that one's looking good. So
making fast progress.
See a white track is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we'll see how long that stays white in Florida weather. Not white but green. The Loch Ness Monster is going to be reborn this year. The legend lives on, reimagined with an enhanced queue experience, all new soundtrack, innovative effects, and most importantly, they're replacing over 900 feet of the track. And it, based on my last ride, it could use it. Also, Busch Gardens in Tampa is introducing a suspended swinging family roller coaster called Phoenix Rising, and it's going to be the first coaster in that park with onboard audio.
Yeah, I'm sending John Self to cover their Mardi Gras, which starts this weekend, and so we'll watch our socials for some updates of some of the track that's gone up there too as well.
Excellent. Now let's head out to Cedar Fair. Big news in the coaster industry is Top Thrill 2, the old Top Thrill dragster. It's going to once again be the world's tallest and fastest triple launch strata coaster. And it's also got the world's first and only dual tower vertical speedway with two 420-foot tall tower tracks. Hopefully this one will be more reliable than the previous version. Iron Menace is coming to Dorney Park. This one is a dive coaster with a 64-mile-an-hour top speed and 152-foot beyond vertical 95-degree drop plus 4 inversions. And a little bit more my speed is Snoopy's Soapbox Racers. That one's coming to Kings Island. It's that park's first boomerang family coaster in the Camp Snoopy area. And Knott's Berry Farm is also getting a new Snoopy coaster. This one's called the Tender Paw Twister, and it's a family-friendly launch coaster. They've also reimagined their Camp Snoopy. Now, broadening out to some smaller parks around the country, there is a Peppa Pig theme park coming to Texas, which will include a clone of Orlando's Daddy Pig's roller coaster, along with a number of other preschooler-friendly attractions. Silver Dollar City is rebuilding their classic Fire in the Hole. This one's more of a dark ride than a roller coaster, but the reborn version will still have a splashdown at the end, along with new special effects. And I think probably the most talked about coaster from IAPA was the Good Gravy, a Thanksgiving-themed roller coaster coming to Holiday World in May. It's only got a 37-mile-an-hour top speed, but you're riding in a gravy boat.
Yeah, I think if there's one of these that I want to go to the opening of, it's
that might
one
be it. Yeah.
and this next one, I think, too.
Yes. And we've also got to remember that the Mattel Adventure Park is coming. That's going to have a number of rides, including the Hot Wheels Bone Shaker roller coaster. That's an 84-foot tall coaster with a double helix. And also the Hot Wheels Twin Mill Racer. That's another Hot Wheels themed coaster with a double loop and 2 corkscrews. You're also going to find Hot Wheels 4D ride, Barbie attractions, including a Barbie flying theater and a Barbie dream house. Lots of Mattel stuff coming our way. Over at Santa's Village, Midnight Flyer is going to let you fly with Santa's reindeer when that opens up in 2024. And there are other, of course, non-coaster attractions, but that is a huge, huge list of coasters. And that's just the United States. That is not even counting some of the big ones coming internationally.
Yeah.
2024 will definitely not be a slow year. I mean, the only exception is, Disney and Universal are not really on this list. Domestic parks for Disney and Universal, we're going to be looking for 2025 for roller coasters there.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, speaking of Disney, out in Disneyland, we've got confirmed dates for the return of a lot of favorite entertainment and some brand new live entertainment coming to the Disneyland Resort this year. And it is kicking off with the return of Mickey's Mix Magic. This was their first show on Main Street that was really focused more on projections than fireworks. They still do fireworks on select evenings on the weekends, but on weeknights you can just enjoy the party with the music and the lighting, but nothing up in the sky. This this show has some earworms. The Everybody Get Your Ears On. Once that gets in your head, it just does not leave. So that is going to be back from January 8th. As we're recording this, it's already kicked off. It'll run through March 21st, and it's also going to be back briefly from April 15th through the 25th. In between those two segments, we're also, I'm sorry, jumping ahead a little. We're also getting the return on February 2nd of Magic Happens. This parade has been cursed. It debuted like a week and a half before COVID hit. It's a big, spectacular daytime parade with new floats. Moana's got a great float in it. There is a wonderful giant walking puppet of the spirit animal from Coco. Lots of great music. And it only ran for a very short time. It came back last year and then went away again. So it will be back starting February 22nd, and it does not have an end date. So hopefully this will stick around for a while. Yep. Have you gotten to see that one in person?
I have. I don't remember it that well because I think I only saw it like one time, and that was it.
It's a fun. I still have a soft spot in my heart for the Mickey's Soundsational, the parade with the drummers and the Step in Time. That was still probably my favorite daytime Disneyland parade of recent years. But this one's pretty good too. Something else that I thought was really good was Wondrous Journeys, which was created for the 100th anniversary. It launched in 2023. It's got a great theme song. It's got some really emotional moments. It's got this great mashup of songs from Hunchback and Beauty and the Beast. So that one is going to come back, but only for a limited time, on March 22nd through April 14th. I'm bummed because I'm visiting the park at the beginning of March and I'm going to just miss it. So I'm going to have to just watch my videos of it again.
Yeah, we have a multicam
Yeah.
video up there.
Excellent. Watch that. And then from April 26th through August 4th, Together Forever. This was a Pixar themed fireworks show that they introduced a few years ago during Pixar Fest. Pixar Fest is coming back, and so is Together Forever. And it will, sort of like Mickey's Mix Magic, just be projections on weeknights, but on select nights and weekends, it's going to have the whole show with fireworks. This one was especially fun because it had the flying house from Up with the balloons.
Yeah, that's cool.
And this is the big one. We've all been waiting for the return of Fantasmic on the Rivers of America. It's back on May 24th. Been closed since April of last year when we had a little flame incident. So the show will be back. The bad news is that the dragon will not be back, at least not in his former form. No more giant animatronic dragon, but there still will be a fight scene between Mickey and Maleficent. What really excites me is that they have dumped the Pirates of the Caribbean scene and brought back Peter Pan on the sailing ship Columbia, which I think was always a much better scene.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's been gone since 2016, and I just always thought that there was too much talking in the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, and not enough actual fight choreography. So it'll be nice to see the Peter Pan version come back. Other smaller things that are happening. We've got the Beauty and the Beast and Tangled shows are continuing at the Royal Theater. There's live music all throughout the park, like the Disneyland Band, Dapper Dans, and until Fantasmic comes back, Queenie and the Jambalaya Jazz Band are still performing on the Rivers of America. That's a fun show if you get to catch that. And don't forget all of the special holiday and seasonal entertainment, like the Halloween Screams, only during the Halloween season.
And that was just Disneyland.
And that was just Disneyland Park. Oh, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee.
Well, at Disney California Adventure, we've got Better Together, a Pixar Pals celebration. I assume that's with Pixar Fest. Yeah.
Yes, it is debuting April 26th with Pixar Fest, but this one does not have an end date. Hopefully, this will stick around. It's a little tough, DCA has what they call a performance corridor, but when they set up the booths that they use for the food festivals, it's almost impossible to get crowds through there, much less parades. So I would say that this parade will probably vanish the next time we see a seasonal food festival. But until then, it will be really nice to have a daily daytime parade. Back in the day, there was was it the Pixar Play Parade, similar to the one that they had in Hollywood Studios. And then, I still really miss Paint the Night. Hopefully that could come back someday, but I'm not counting on it.
So.
I think that one's in deep storage somewhere. But this new parade is going to feature characters from latest Pixar films, including Turning Red. Disney Junior Dance Party is still going strong, and you can catch Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, as well as the Dora Milaje, performing daily in Avengers Campus, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy, who still do their awesome dance-off outside of their ride. Green Army Men can also be spotted doing their Toy Story thing throughout the park. And you've got live music such as the Five and Dime and the Hollywood Backlot Stage. Seasonal entertainment includes World of Color 1 has returned, coming up soon, and that will return in just a couple weeks with the Lunar New Year celebration pre-show. Unfortunately, the only thing we don't know is what the heck is going to go on in the Hyperion Theater this year. We had the Rogers musical was a hit over the summer. but that has folded, just like they have closed the Tale of the Lion King show over in the Disneyland Fantasyland Theater. So, I think they're ripe for some new large-scale entertainment. Those big stage shows, they suck up a lot of people. They're great people eaters. But they also require, well-paid actors. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
I'm sure something will come to those theaters. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, it's always a shame to see, especially for so many years of like the Aladdin show. I had to see the Aladdin show every time I was at DCA,
Mm,
and I would love to see a must-see show in there again.
yeah,
So,
me too.
moving over to the East Coast, here's something. If you are a big Star Wars fan and you want your own private photo op inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you can now book a Capture Your Moment photo session with a Disney photographer inside Galaxy's Edge. You and up to 7 other members of your friends and family can have a 20-minute photo session at locations like the Millennium Falcon, the First Order Shuttle, the Black Spire Outpost Market. And you can have a professional photographer help you pose. And it for the low price of $99 for a 20-minute session. Now, keep in mind,
Yeah, I think that it's a great idea, and I know they had this on the Star Cruiser when it was
yes,
around,
they
where you could
certainly
do
did. Yep.
and they kind of moved it here, which is great. But 20 minutes can go by really, really quick.
Very, very. I don't know how many poses, especially if you've got a large group or any children,
Right.
who
Yeah.
you're going to have to bang this one out to get much out in 20 minutes. Keep in mind that cost does not include actually getting the photos. If
Mm,
you've already paid for a memory maker or you've got an annual pass that's got a photo pass attached to it, then you can download those for free at no extra cost. Or you can purchase them on an a la carte basis, and that will run up very quickly. Yeah, so the $99 just basically covers the cost of having the photographer for those 20. This is something that they've done throughout. You can do, an
right.
engagement session or, a
Right.
baby, session. They've done this in other places. Usually people do these like in front of a castle.
Mhm.
So I think this is like not a totally new product. It's just kind of like a spin on it. So bookings for this are opening January 17th. You can book it up to 60 days in advance. And if 20 minutes is not enough for you, you could book 40 minutes or 60 minutes. Just add
That's
on an extra $99 for
that's what
each
I was going to
additional 20 minutes.
suggest. It'd almost be worth it if you have a group and maybe you're all
Yeah.
cosplaying that day, and you add on another 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. All right. So that's the thing that's happening. Moving on, if you want a way of maybe saving a little money instead of spending more money at Walt Disney World, if you are a Disney Plus subscriber, you can now get in on the return of the dining plan at Walt Disney World for free. There are special vacation packages that our friends at MEI and MouseFan Travel can help you with, and it started January 3rd. If you are a Disney Plus subscriber in the US and Canada, you can book a non-discounted 4-night, 4-day Walt Disney Travel Company package, including a room at a select hotel and theme park tickets with Park Hopper, and they will throw in a free dining plan for your entire party. Few details that you're going to want to go over your travel agent with. This is valid on nights from July 1st through September 30th. So you are going to be visiting during the very hot summer period.
The busiest time as well.
So if you are booking a stay at a value or a moderate or at the Fort Wilderness Resort cabins, you're going to get a quick service dining plan. And you're not going to get anything if you're staying at a campsite. And that quick service dining plan gets you snacks and counter service meals. If you're staying at a deluxe villa, you are going to get the dining plan, which is a quick service meal and a table service meal each day. If you want, you can pay the difference to upgrade to the higher plan. And basically, it's like a credit system. You can use your snack credits to get a Dole Whip or a Mickey ice cream bar. Like what many people do is save them up to the very last day, forget you have all these credits, and then buy a whole bunch of stuff that gets shoved in your suitcase to go home.
Yeah,
Um,
the dining plans are a good deal. It saves you a lot of money if you look at the price of food. But this is where MEI Mouse Fan Travel comes in, because there's so many rules. It's good to have a
mhm.
travel agent to help you navigate that and get the most out of your money for
So
your money.
so so my advice is that yeah, talk to your travel agent, and there's also a lot of resources online. Do your math, make a spreadsheet if you have to. It
Yeah,
really depends on what kind of eaters your family are. If you've got a family where everyone just kind of picks at their food, and you only order an entree and never order a dessert, then maybe you're not going to win out on this. If you're able to get a discounted rate on the hotel and tickets, that might outweigh whatever the savings of the free dining plan. However, if you are the kind of people who always order the most expensive entree on the menu, you order dessert at every meal, you clean your plate, you can definitely make out with this. You just got to plan carefully.
yeah. Like you said, it's free for Disney Plus members,
Mhm.
but you have to
Yep.
book a hotel that doesn't have any discounts, so you just have to weigh the two, and that's again why the travel agent can be so much help with that.
Absolutely. And if you are not a Disney Plus member, there are also a lot of other savings going on right now. They've got 35% off select hotels if you stay 5 nights or longer in March through October. Um, for arrivals, also in March and October, they've got um, sorry, they've got additional discounts for stays 5 nights of 25% on value resorts, 30% on moderate resorts, and 35% of deluxe. The savings vary depending on when you book and when the arrival is. It's really
Yeah,
complicated
we
trying to figure out the best deal, and
and
how
I
to
don't
take advantage of the benefits. So
I,
yes.
yeah, I don't think it's in our news today, but we did recently posted another story about a deal for Florida residents. So
Yes, I
you
was.
want to check our website for that.
Yes, or really just contact Mouse Fan
Yeah,
Travel.
yeah,
It's free. And in case we don't emphasize this very often, but I think a lot of people who have never used a travel agent don't really understand how it works. They think that you have to pay a fee to the travel agent. Travel agent gets their money from the company that you're booking from.
right.
It does not come out of your pocket, and so they can save you money. They don't cost you money.
Yeah,
So
it's free help, so why not
yep,
take it?
yeah, give it a shot. Um, Also, in other Walt Disney World news, we got confirmation that the Little Mermaid stage show is coming back to life at Hollywood Studios, but in a brand new form this coming fall. This was one of those things that was a casualty of COVID and sat closed so long. I mean, people posted news stories saying, "Oh, we hear this is dead for good," and Disney came back saying, "No, no, really, we're bringing it back." And then crickets for another 2 years.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of amazed that this is finally resurrecting and that it's coming back still as a Little Mermaid musical, because we've got a Little Mermaid ride now over in Magic Kingdom and meet and greet, and so I might have guessed that they would bring this back as something with a more modern IP, but it's still going to be the Little Mermaid.
yeah. When I first heard the news, I thought, oh, it's going to be the live action movie
That's
version,
that's
and
what I thought, but the artwork sure still looks like it's based on the cartoon.
yeah, they've said it's going to be based on the original cartoon, so
Yep.
that's great
So
for fans of it.
yeah, the things that we have confirmed, it will have Part of Your World, Poor Unfortunate Souls, and Kiss the Girl, which was not in the show previously, but that's been added. And they have promised stunning new set pieces and cutting edge effects. The old one was kind of famous for using a lot of black light puppets. I'm sure there will still be some sort of puppets or effects. It's got,
Hmm.
from the artwork here, it looks like we still have some puppets, but maybe not that black light style. It looks like more dimensional sets, a lot more color. So
Yep, that'll
we
be
will have
fun.
to see when this opens up. I have not heard of them posting an audition notice for this yet.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But they have said that construction is underway inside the building. So stay tuned. And last but certainly not least in the queue, any other week, this would have been our main story, our lead story. Um, did not have this one on my bingo card to be announced before the end of the year, and we need to give a hat tip to our colleague Alicia Stella over at Orlando Park Stop for being the first person to report on this, which kind of prompted Universal to confirm it. Universal Comcast has bought land near London in the UK, and they are actively considering building a new theme park resort, potentially Universal Studios United Kingdom
Yeah,
or Great
it's.
Britain, depending on the way you want to phrase it.
I think it said like 40 minutes outside of London, so
Yeah,
close by there.
yeah. It is, much like Walt Disney World is not actually in Orlando. This would
Yeah,
not
yeah,
actually be in London, but it is at the intersection of several major roadways and railways. And a lot of these are actually actively part of a major infrastructure upgrade that should make travel from London to here pretty easy. It is Bedford in the UK. And the official statement just acknowledges that they are at the early stages of exploring its feasibility for a potential park. But I gotta imagine that if they've bought the land, they've done more than just explored the feasibility. You
yeah.
don't you don't put down that much money unless you're pretty sure you're going to do something with it.
I think the unofficial way to say it is they're planning this theme park. It's
Yeah,
going to happen unless something pops up and
yeah.
they decide not to, or they figure some reason why they don't need to. But I
Mhm.
think it's definitely going to happen if everything goes well.
So the location, as you mentioned, about 45 minutes from central London, but that makes it accessible to over 50% of the UK's population in only 2 hours. So that's a huge amount of potential market. It's at the convergence of routes A421, A6, and B530 for all of you commuters. Um, Ironically, this is about 80 miles from Rainham Marshes, where 30 something years ago, Universal had briefly considered building a park. This is, they already had their hands full with Epic Universe, with Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas, with the Kids Resort in Texas. And like I said, I did not have on my bingo card that we were going to get this. Now, I don't think that something like this could open anytime before 2030.
Yeah,
Right,
probably
right.
not.
This is something to look at the end of the decade or early next decade. A lot of infrastructure work that would have
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
done. But we need to emphasize that Universal has not said anything about what attractions, what themes, what IPs could possibly be part of this. But all the buzz that I'm hearing is that they recognize that the UK market is a huge market for Universal Orlando. And it doesn't make sense to just copy Universal Orlando attractions, put them in the UK, and no longer have people an incentive to fly over here. So
yeah.
I think
That's
that
true. Yep. And
whatever we see there, we might see stuff that comes from Japan or Beijing, who knows? But I don't think that we're going to see Universal Orlando rides cloned in the UK because I feel like half the park in Orlando is already UK visitors right now. They
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
need that.
Right. Yeah. And there's lots of speculation
Mhm.
about what it will be. And one of the other buzz things going around is that they're going to concentrate only on their own IPs and
Mm,
not have to pay those licenses to other companies. And then that possibly Harry Potter won't be part of it because you have the Harry Potter experience in London with the real
sure.
sets.
Yeah, it would be
So
awkward to like have a fake Hogwarts
yeah,
in
a few miles
there
from
when
the
you
real
can
one.
like literally walk through the actual sets. Just a short drive away.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but it'd be interesting. There's also been, for years there's been rumors that Universal's pursuing the rights for Lord of the Rings, which I'm sure would be very popular there.
Yeah.
And years ago, Universal pursued developing James Bond attractions, and that would also, you'd think that could be a perfect fit
Well,
for there.
one thing we know won't be there is Marvel Superhero Island.
No,
um, and
no. Yes, they Universal does not have Marvel rights outside
and
of Orlando for sure.
and it's interesting because it's another country. Like in Japan, they have Sesame Street activities, so
Mhm.
it's possible that could come to this location as well.
Oh yeah, interesting.
And Charlie
All
Brown
sorts
too.
of possibilities.
Yeah.
Very exciting time. Definitely, we are going to be keeping a close eye on that. Okay, so that just about brings us to the end of the news in the queue. Before we jump into this week's main attraction, it is time to hear a word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and Mousefan Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction.
All right, for this week's main attraction, if you thought that first piece in this podcast was long, buckle up, folks, because we have a list compiled by Blake Taylor. Thoughts and prayers, bless you, Blake. Uh, Posted on our website on the first of the year. Please go and check it out at Attractions Magazine. All of the new theme park attractions opening around the globe in 2024. And oh my gosh, is this a long list?
It
Uh,
is.
it's going to be a jam-packed year. We've got everything from a gravy-themed coaster that we've talked about, to Barbie Land and in Arizona's Mattel Park that we've talked about, and a lot more that we're going to go over. We're going to try to skim through some of these, because if we read every one of these things, this would be a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah, and
Um,
let us know if we've forgotten anything. I'm sure there's
I'm,
I'm
I'm
sure there's a
sure there's
random park
something we
in
missed.
yeah, I'm sure there's a random park in Siam or someplace that's gonna have something that we missed. And I just noticed the Troller coaster, which is opening Universal, wasn't on our coaster list, so I need to go update that
Yes.
one.
Well, I think that that's a technicality, because that is a
Oh,
existing coaster. It's just a repaint.
right,
It's
that's
not a
true.
fully
Yep.
theme. But I did have a note that we have to mention that when we get down there. We're going to start up in the A's with Alice in Wonderland, which I've heard is going to be called Alice and the Red Queen Back to Wonderland. That might just be the working title. But this is a new show coming to Walt Disney Studios Park in France, and it is it is set where they used to do the lights, camera, action, motor stunt show.
Hmm,
That old arena has been sitting empty for a while. Apparently, they are putting a live Alice in Wonderland show
interesting.
that's going to be interactive, with the audience deciding how the show ends. Interesting that this is going to be based on the 1951 movie and not any of the Tim Burton remakes. So have to keep an eye on that. Also in the A's, Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey is coming to Tokyo Disney Sea. And this is a whole completely different version from the one that we see in Orlando and Hong Kong. It retells the story of the first Frozen film, and this is part of the Fantasy Springs expansion, that's also including a Peter Pan dark ride and a Tangled boat ride. Next up, Fins Up Water Park in Buford, Georgia has Apocalypso, which is a 30-mile-an-hour, 418-foot long water slide, which is part of their Margaritaville water park. We previously mentioned the Mattel Park. In addition to a Barbie beach house and they're also going to have a Barbie flying theater there that will take you on a ride with Barbie from Malibu to Brooklyn. That's in addition to the Hot Wheels attractions we mentioned earlier, and they've also got Thomas the Tank Engine and friends at that park. We've mentioned the Better Together Parade and the Bobcat at Six Flags Great Escape. The Bow Wow Blaster is coming to the Schlitterbahn New Braunfels water park in Texas. And this is a kid-sized water coaster, part of a new area they've got just for the little ones. Another water park, Adventure Island in Tampa. It's part of the Busch Gardens complex. That has a new water play area called Castaway Falls coming in the spring. And similarly named Catapult Falls, that is the water coaster that we mentioned coming to SeaWorld San Antonio. This is a little bit of a sad one for me. I was in the Magic Kingdom yesterday, and I did not stop into the Country Bear Jamboree. I wish I had, because we just got an announcement the end of this month, I believe, January 27th. That will be the closing day for the current Country Bear Jamboree in Frontierland. It's going to be coming back as the Country Bear Musical Jamboree with more modern Nashville style covers of Disney music instead of classic country or Western music. That'll be opening up this summer. All right. Taking a sip of coffee here.
I'll continue here. We got Cyborg
jump in,
Cyber
please.
Revolution at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, which is a ride I won't be riding. Looks very Disney.
It looks like one of those Nebula Z scrambler things by Zamperla. We've seen that one at IAPA. It always looks like it's about to crash into itself.
Yep. It's cool to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then you got Daddy Pig's coaster and all the other attractions coming to Peppa Pig theme park in Dallas, Fort Worth area, which we have full coverage of on our website and our YouTube channel. This one sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it's a dark ride, a little spooky.
Yes, in Efteling. Have you ever been to Efteling?
I want to go, but I've never been.
If you take a trip to Europe, and you have a choice, you have to pick between Disneyland Paris and Efteling. I know it's blasphemy. Pick Efteling. It's bigger, it's cheaper, it's less crowded, and it is so imaginative. They had a classic haunted house attraction that was a cross between. It was like if the Haunted Mansion's ballroom was a 15-minute show instead of a ride through. So they gutted that, but they kept the structure and they put this new flat ride in there that's going to use a lot of elements from the original. It's called Dance Macabre, and it is opening in 2024, replacing the Spooks a lot. And I want to take a trip just to see that. I probably would not take a trip just to see Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. They're cloning that in Singapore's Universal Studios. They're also getting a world's first original Minion-themed ride in this new Minion Land that they're getting. But I think it's just like a flat ride. So Disney's Electrical Sky Parade kicked off the new year in Disneyland Paris on January 8th. We have highlight clips of that up on our YouTube channel, and you got to check that out. If you are a fan of the classic Main Street Electrical Parade, they have turned it into a drone show and is just amazing.
It's cool.
Yeah. Also pretty amazing. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say, did you notice some of the drones have fireworks coming
Fireworks. They do the scene with the Peter Pan pirate ship, and it's got fireworks sparkling out of the back.
That's crazy. I've never seen
what
that
could what could possibly go wrong, right? What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, amazing. And I'm just counting the days until Disney and Universal start really using drone technology in the parks. They've tinkered with it here and there, but they need to go full out. Speaking of going full out, Dolly Parton always goes full out at Dollywood. And in May of 2024, she is opening a new museum called the Dolly Parton Experience that is 3 times the size of the previous museum devoted to her career and personal life. Next up, DreamWorks Animation is opening DreamWorks Land at Universal Studios Florida. This is replacing the classic Kids Zone. As you mentioned, they have rethemed the old Woody Woodpecker roller coaster as the Troller Coaster. They better make that the official name. We've been
Yeah, they haven't
saying that.
officially said that, but
Yeah, they better make that. It's gotten a bright and colorful new coat of paint. Shrek's house is rising rapidly. And we're also going to have attractions inspired by Kung Fu Panda, as well as, I think, a meet and greet with Gabby's Dollhouse. Let's head west to Legoland, California. Duplo's Little Dino Trail is opening up this spring as part of the new Dino Valley area. Where it looks like a kind of a Pokemon Snap ride. You're going to ride in a little car and use a camera to play hide and seek with dinosaurs. They are also getting an Explorer River Quest, where you're going to be able to take a water ride with boats past
more dinosaurs.
More dinosaurs. We mentioned previously in Tokyo Disney Sea, they're getting a Tinkerbell Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies flat ride. And we mentioned Silver Dollar City's Fire in the Hole. Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia is opening a Flash Speed Force ride, which is a skateboard-style spinning coaster, as well as a Flash Vertical Velocity coaster that is coming to Six Flags Great Adventure. That's that boomerang we mentioned. All right, let's head to Bloomington, Minnesota, where Nickelodeon Universe has Fly with Appa. It's a Dumbo-style spinning ride themed to Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's inside the Nickelodeon Universe indoor park. Got to give another shout out to Good Gravy coming to Holiday World, as well as the Hot Wheels Bone Shaker. We got to see the lead car for that. Roller coaster coming to Mattel Adventure Park at IAPA. That looks pretty badass. And as well as the Twin Mills Racer, the Hot Wheels Unleashed 4D ride, all coming to that Arizona park. Busch Gardens Tampa is getting a new ice skating show. I don't think we have a title for that. Oh, I believe it might be called Turn It Up Remix. I'm sorry. That's the previous show. That's returning in spring, but we're going to get a new show in summer. Sorry for the confusion. Yep. It's a lot of stuff to read.
Yep.
We mentioned Iron Menace at Dorney Park. That's the dive coaster they're getting. And San Diego's SeaWorld is getting a new jellyfish experience called Jewels of the Sea, a new indoor aquarium space where you get to see the jellies. If you want to go for a spin with the Joker, Carnival of Chaos is coming to Six Flags St. Louis. This is a 75-mile-per-hour pendulum ride that stands 172 feet in the air.
Another one I won't be riding.
No, thank you on that one. But I would get on Jungle Rush at Dream World in Queensland, Australia.
Looks fun.
Yeah, this is a little Vekoma back and forth, forward and backward part of Rivertown. A new land that includes the Mississippi Motors driving ride. Speaking of driving, Legoland Florida is getting a new Legoland Ferrari Build and Race attraction where you can build your own Lego Ferrari. They've already got those in California and Windsor. Legoland California is getting a new Lego World Parade also. It's celebrating the park's 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Legoland has ever had a parade. That's really
interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to remember from my time there. It's not a place with super wide pathways, so you're gonna have to. I bet it'll be a compact parade, but it should be cute. We already mentioned the Little Mermaid coming back to Hollywood Studios and the Loch Ness Monster being reborn at Busch Gardens. Six Flags Fiesta Texas has Metropolis Transit Authority, and this is basically like their version of the People Mover. It's going to be a little scenic transportation attraction circling the newly expanded DC universe. We already hit on Midnight Flyer. That's the reindeer roller coaster in Santa's Village. Million Splashes of Color is the new daytime parade show coming to Disneyland Paris in France with Moana, Encanto, and Wish. The big one coming to Universal Studios Japan is Mine Cart Madness. Yes, that is the Donkey Kong roller coaster that will debut first in Japan, and then we're going to see a version in Epic Universe in 2025 and in Orlando.
Yeah, we have some good aerial photos on stories, construction update stories on that. Not the one in Japan, but the one here.
The one in
good look at it.
I feel like the one in Orlando looks like it'll be ready to ride in 2024. It's going to be hard waiting until 2025 for that. But in spring of 2024, Minifigure Speedway is going to open up at Legoland Windsor. That is a 35-mile-an-hour roller coaster, making it the fastest one in the park. And it is a dueling coaster that goes both forwards and backwards. All right, try to pronounce this one. Tokyo Disneyland is getting Mini at Funderland. That runs from right now, January 10th through March 19th, and it is a new limited time parade tied to the Minnie Mouse Festival that they are holding.
Speaking of ones hard to pronounce,
yeah, that we mentioned Mississippi Motors, which I think is the way people in Australia think you pronounce Mississippi. That's part of the jungle-themed Rivertown area we mentioned. They're taking their old vintage cars and giving them kind of a looks like a redneck makeover. All right. Well, Penguin Trek is coming to SeaWorld Orlando, taking over the former Empire of the Penguin dark ride. That Peter Pan Neverland attraction that I am so fascinated with. I don't know what kind of attraction this is. Some sort of flying dark ride, but it is not replacing the old Peter Pan's flight. So they will still coexist for at least for a while. Phoenix Rising, as we mentioned, coming to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Rapunzel's Lantern Festival is the name of the boat ride coming to Tokyo Disney Seas. And Sally's Swing Along is one of the additions to Camp Snoopy at Knott's Berry Farm. It is very similar to the Boots Banana Swing that you can find at Nickelodeon Universe in Minnesota. Six Flags Fiesta Texas is also getting a Shazam! Tower of Eternity. That's a rotating drop tower, part of their existing DC universe. And Sky Strikers coming to Six Flags Great America. This is another one of those 75-mile-an-hour, 172-foot tall pendulum rides, just like the Joker Carnival of Chaos coming to St. Louis. We already talked about Snoopy's Soapbox Racers at Kings Island, as well as Snoopy's Tender Paw Twister Coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. Two family-friendly Peanuts coasters.
Here's the one I'm excited about.
And yes, this was the lead photo at the top of the article. SpongeBob's Crazy Carnival Ride. It is a standalone interactive dark ride coming to the Circus Hotel. It will be located just outside of the Adventure Dome theme park. It'll have its own admission. And it's got a mix of screens and animatronics. It looks really good. They showed off a little preview at IAPA.
And also coming to Turkey.
Yes. If you don't want to travel to Las Vegas, you can go and see it in the Legend theme park in Turkey later this year. Another one of those Zamperla Nebula Z's is going to be called Steamwhirler, and it's coming to Six Flags America, part of their steampunk Steamtown area. And Tassie's Underwater Twist is opening up in Aquatica at Orlando. That's an enclosed tube slide with video elements and music.
Doesn't actually go underwater, but
that doesn't actually. Okay, so you're not actually going to drown. It'll just look like it. All right. Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. I'm sorry, it's just Thomas and Friends. I think it used to be Thomas the Tank Engine. For some reason, I don't quite get that. But Thomas and Friends World of Sodor is part of Mattel's Adventure Park that we mentioned earlier. And there are a whole bunch of attractions, including Thomas's Adventure Train Treasure Hunt, Thomas and Friends Party Station, Birdie's Bus Stop, and the Sodor Balloon Ride, all coming to that park. Another big one coming to both Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. This is the reimagining of the classic Splash Mountain with the new Princess and the Frog theme. Tiki Tapu Splash. Say that 10 times fast. That's a new name of new water playground coming to Aquatica in San Antonio. And we already talked about Top Thrill 2, the remade Top Thrill Dragster in Cedar Point.
We're down to the V's.
We're getting at the end of the alphabet, I promise. Voltron Nevera is a new mock ride coaster coming to Europa Park. You know, it's mock ride at Europa Park because everything at Europa Park is mock rides. But this one's got 7 inversions, 4 launches, and one of them will be a record-setting 105-foot
Wow.
degree or 105-degree launch. So you'll basically be launching sharper than vertical. I don't even know how that works.
That I'm not sure.
But that is coming to Europa Park in Germany this summer. A yet unnamed water-themed coaster is coming to Six Flags over Georgia. That one's being manufactured by Intamin. And a Wizard of Oz themed suspended coaster and boomerang coaster are both coming to the Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia. A lot of stuff happening in Australia. And finally, we're going to end with some numbers. 123 Playground coming to Sesame Place in Philadelphia this spring, taking over the previous Sunny Day Carousel, which is not being destroyed. It's just being relocated. Believe it or not, that is just 2024. We have other things beyond the attractions that are happening. Things like the reimagination of Disneyland Hotel at Disneyland Paris. The Pixar Place Hotel in Disneyland officially opens, along with new missions on Star Tours coming to all the Disney parks. A new lift hill for the Lightning Rod. A new Fantasy Springs Hotel in Tokyo. Bluey's World coming to Australia. The Disney Treasure cruise ship is launching.
Yep.
It's gonna be a busy year.
And that's just things that are announced. I'm sure we're going to start getting a lot of announcements soon. And...
Yes. In fact, I would not be shocked if we started getting some official announcements, teases coming out of Universal for Epic Universe in 2025. But before the end of this month, I think we're going to see some new concept art by the end of this month, and they're going to start. They're going to get people excited over the next year for this. I don't think that they had a problem when Universal opened the first Wizarding World, that they hyped it a little too early, and they had a period where people did not come to Universal at all for like the year before the first Wizarding World opened, because they were like, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
And then they sort of went a little too far with Diagon Alley and waited really late to confirm that kind of stuff. And I think they're going to split the difference. I think they're going to really start building the hype for Epic Universe, and they're confident enough in what they've got now that I don't think that they're too afraid that they're going to. And honestly, they're saving costs right now by closing a lot of things at Universal Orlando, and even half the park is not even opening till 10 a.m. now. So they're saving their money now. They're preparing for maybe a smaller 2024 in some ways, because there's really, other than DreamWorks, not a huge opening in Universal Orlando, but they are going to go guns blazing in 2025.
I think so. I think there'll be some more announcements too, just to keep people excited for this year and early next year.
Yep. Mardi Gras is coming. Halloween is right around the corner after that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear about the new nighttime drone show coming this summer.
Oh, yes. We've got to have a new, they've definitely been working on the fountains for the old show in the lagoon at Universal Orlando. And we will definitely hear some parade, nighttime show, some live entertainment's going to come back to Universal Florida, I think. And we got all sorts of, things even beyond that. The Fast and Furious roller coaster in Hollywood, Frozen Land coming to Paris, whatever is happening to Dino Land in Animal Kingdom. We got
Beyond Thunder Mountain.
Beyond Thunder Mountain, Harry Potter coming to Abu Dhabi. It is a packed 2024, a busy 2025, and we hope that you stick here with us at Attractions Magazine for all of it. All right. Well, before we go, we've gotten a few comments that we should hop back and check in on. If you are a latecomer and Wiser wanted to know where's Carly, Carly was not feeling well today. We hope to have her back next week, and we wish her a quick recovery. So let's fly through a few of these. The world famous Skipper Ben wants to know if there is a Jungle Cruise game for his Quest 3 where he can just relive his Skipper Ben days again. Yes, there is. Okay, not specifically the Jungle Cruise quite yet, but there is a game. It was on App Lab called Into the Metaverse. I believe that it is now officially published. And I think if you search the word theme park in the Quest App Store, you will find it. And they have created basically theme park attractions, dark rides, inside this attraction. The first one that they have is Into the Metaverse, and it is basically Spaceship Earth. And they are working on a Jungle Cruise. They're working on a Haunted Mansion. They're really a lot of fun. I downloaded it when it was free. I think now if you do it, it's maybe $10 or less. Totally worth it to support the project. There is also, if you search on YouTube, Defunctland made a recreation of the original 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in 360 3D that you can watch on YouTube, and it looks just like being on the original ride. And my favorite one, my favorite Quest theme park attraction, search in the App Lab for Project Snowflake. This one's a little bit buggy. Sometimes when I open it up, it's I have to close the app and reopen it a couple times because it's a handmade thing. But they recreated the original Adventures Through Inner Space, the first the first Doom buggy Omnimover attraction from Disneyland in the 1960s. Perfect recreation of it in I think they used Unreal Engine or Unity, but it's amazing. So check out all of those. And
I also got to put a plug in. If you have download the YouTube VR app within Quest, we have some 3D VR 180 videos from the parks, so you can just relive it right there in your headset. It came in really handy during the pandemic. It was go to the theme parks. You could go and
absolutely. I watched an awful lot of them. It I will say that it works better with things that are smoother and slower moving. Those the bit rate when there's a lot of fast motion, the bit rate can't really keep up. But if you stick with things that are well lit and slow moving, it's amazing.
And not to mention if the camera person doesn't know to stay still,
absolutely
really sick.
yeah. Michael Bingham is heading to Disneyland. He'll be there around March 11th. Oh, you are just going to be there when fantastic. You are there right after I am. We hope that you have a great time. We did forget to mention something very important. Thank you, Brian Sager, for reminding us. Magic Key ticket sales back on sale today, January 10th for Disneyland, as of around 8:45 or 9 a.m. Pacific time. You have been able to renew all this time, but you have not been able to buy into a new Magic Key, and they opened all the levels back up. We will have to see how long that lasts. Last time it was just a few days before, or even hours before they sold out. So maybe by the time you hear this, they're gone. But if you want a Magic Key, this might not right now be your chance. Are you a Magic Key holder out in Disneyland?
I'm not. I've never been, but I don't get out there enough to make it worth it. I considered that pass that got you both when they used to have but never got that one.
When I 2010, I went out to Disneyland. I had an annual pass, the top line annual pass in Walt Disney World, which only cost about $350 a year back then. And wow. I went to Disneyland and bought a 3-day park hopper at Disneyland. and I went to guest services with my annual pass and my 3-day park hopper at Disneyland. And I asked, can you combine these into this new, because the coast to coast was brand new. And they
Right.
said, yes, $15 more. And you
Wow.
now have an annual pass. Good for a year starting today. So they didn't even
Wow.
prorate it. They just gave me a full year from that. That was the best deal I have ever gotten in Disney in my life. I will never see that
And then the
bargain
price
again.
went up, and the price
Oh
went
my
up,
gosh.
the price went up, and they
And
got rid of
they
it.
got rid of it
Yeah.
entirely. But I used to say that if you make 2 trips of at least 4 days per trip a year, it made more sense to buy an annual pass rather than to buy 2 separate 4-day tickets. But that calculation has shifted because um, with blockout dates and with the reservation system, it's nerve-wracking for me to try to plan a trip to Disneyland, try to book hotels and airfare that I can afford, and then hope that there are days in the parks available. And if I make a trip, usually I go out for a week because I'm doing research. I can only book 4 of my days in advance, and then I have to just pray that I'm able to get,
Yeah.
admission on the other days. So
I saw
I might be dropping my pass this year, but if you want to get one, now's your time.
I saw somebody on X saying they upgraded their pass so they could go weekends, and then they looked at the blockout
Like,
dates,
and
and
there's
they're
no
blocked.
availability. Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
availability on
yep,
weekends. So
yep. Brian Tull wanted us to know that he's excited for the last time for the Country Bear Jamboree. Yes, I have to get back there in the next couple weeks and make sure I see them again. Our friend Eric O chiming in on the Universal Great Britain, saying that they could use some local IPs in the UK park. I have heard buzz about Paddington the Bear. I think he would be a great addition to that park.
cool.
And Derek is also teasing us, reminding us that he just got to visit Tokyo Disney Sea, and
Yeah.
he misses it already.
I think when I'm talking to Eric about having him on a special episode where he can tell us all about his Asia trip.
I would love that. He would be fascinating to talk to. Let's do that. Finally, our last comment from Brian Sager. Will we be getting Epic Preview Center and Mardi Gras news coming soon from Universal Orlando? Magic 8 Ball says yes. Mardi Gras starts in just a few weeks, so they better start dumping info on that real soon. And we saw the Legacy store. That was the classic, the vintage Universal store in City Walk, just closed down a couple days ago. While it's not official, all the signs point to that becoming a preview center for Epic Universe. Wow. So that was a long episode. We went a little bit over. We hope that you stayed with us. We really appreciate it. Once again, before we go, one last thank you to our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. We want to please remind you to head on over to wherever you get our podcast, whether that be Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave us a rating and a review. It really helps us get the word
Appreciate it.
out. And finally, be sure to follow us. Head on over to attractionsmagazine.com. Search for Attractions Magazine in all your favorite social media accounts. Matt, do you have a personal account people can follow, or are you just
They can
direct-
look for me, Attractions Matt on X and Instagram.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't look for me on X very often, but you can find me on pretty much every other platform at S. Kabursky and at the Unofficial Guides.
And
Pick up a
Threads
copy of
too.
my yeah, threads. Yes. And until next week, hopefully I will be back with Carly, and Matt doesn't have to do this again, but we thank him for pinch hitting.
Thanks
And
for having
until
me.
next week, we hope that you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. And we will see you again next time.
Bye.